What's going on, image bearers? We are back with another video. It's your girl Libs, and today we are delving into a topic that has been pressed on my heart for a very long time. I have my sister here. Hi. Chosen sister, chosen bestie. Brittany, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
And we're talking about today. Tell the people what we're talking about today.
We're talking about navigating godly relationships and exploring what it is to have adult friendships.
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. Is actually a topic that I think that in our age group, I mean in all age groups, to be honest, people go through, and I don't think we talk about it a lot. We do definitely focus on like relationships, marriage, and those things like that, but I don't know if we talk about friendships as much as we should. We are, but before we get into the conversation, if you haven't subscribe, comment down below your experiences with, trying to find friendships in adulthood, do all that good stuff, turn your post notifications on so you do not miss a time that I post. But let's get into it. I think we should tell the people first, like how we even met.
Okay.
Like about our friendship and how we met. Because the way we met, I didn't see it as Brittany saw it. No. I was just being myself. And sis was over here like, this girl asked a lot of questions. Yeah. So like, explain from your perspective how we met. I remember just seeing like, wow, there's this like nice girl. Like, let me go talk to her. She saw it completely different. Tell the people.
Okay, so it was almost 3 years ago. Yeah, time is flying. But I feel like I've known you since I was 5.
No, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
But it was almost 3 years ago, and we were both exploring a new option for a church home because we were in that pivotal season of both of our lives.
Yeah.
And I was holding my new pastor's baby at the time. I was just minding my business, in the corner with the pastor's new baby. And I just heard my loudmouth cousin just being like, that's my cousin over there, to this beautiful couple actually that walked in. I was like, who are these two? But anyway, I was holding this baby and this person comes up to me and she was like, is that your baby? Not even, hi, what's your name? She just said, is that your baby? And I was like, no, this is not my baby. And she's like, are you married? And I'm like, no.
I didn't realize I come across like that I just asked. I'm just off the jump like,
you
what?
Are.
I'm really not good at small talk.
No, but I love it though because I think that's why we're friends.
No, for real. But I feel like it took a little bit of time. Like, I don't know if we connected like right there and then. Yeah. I don't even know if I remember like an exact moment that I remember texting you one time about hair.
Yeah.
And you sent me voice notes but I don't remember how we were like, yeah, we're going to be besties.
But I think that's why it's God-led though, because I think it's not something I saw coming, but it was something that I prayed for.
Me too.
So I knew like, yeah. And I think God knows me so well. So like, I'm not an extrovert, and I don't really think you are either, but you come off extroverted. So I think, and God knowing me as his daughter, he's like, Brittany's not going to be the type to go up to somebody and be like, is that your baby? She's gonna need somebody who's gonna be doing that.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. No, I think we're both people, we don't make friends easily in the sense that it's not like we're cold and we don't want to make friends, but we are very specific,
very particular
with who we call friends. So for us once we gelled. It was that was it. Yeah. But like, I feel like we need to talk about a little bit the process of making friends as an adult. When we're kids in high school, I mean, we have like a lot of friends out of convenience. I'll be real. Like, like when we're younger, like my friends are the people I go to school with. Yeah. Go to church with all the time. When you're an adult, I feel like now it's kind of like you're kind of weeding through who's really my friend and who's not. And then there's some relationships that are from childhood that go into adulthood and whatever. But we got to talk about like making friends in the adulthood stage and like maybe it's the difficulties that come with that or just like different factors. It might not be difficult. For some, it might be difficult, but for others, it might not be. I feel like you are the friend I did make in my adulthood stage, but I, like you said, I feel like we grew up together, literally. And I feel like even us, we kind of, even with maybe our childhood friends and stuff, we kind of were like, this feels like different almost. Like, you know, like I don't know if there was ever a season if we ever felt guilt or if we ever felt like, oh, how do I feel so much closer to this person who I just met versus maybe people that I've known for forever, you know? So like, what's your view on that? Like as a whole in making just friendships as an adult?
Well, I think, first, in like touching on if I ever felt that guilt, again, like I don't think I did because I think that I did the spiritual work before arriving to our friendship where that guilt wasn't even possible because when the relationship was coming about, I received it. But in terms of making friendships as adults, okay, like I'll say for me, I moved around a lot. So I would make friends and then like life would just pivot and I would just move somewhere else. And so I learned throughout my life that you have to be intentional in keeping up with that relationship. And so our generation, we have the luxury of having social media to be able to do that. But I realized that even with that luxury, that if people really don't want that relationship, they won't really work for it. So they won't really reach out to you and stuff. And so there was a time in my life where I would be a little bit resentful of the people who would have that childhood relationship. Like they'll have that person that they've known since they were like 3 and they're still keeping up with one another. But very quickly, I think especially after leaving high school, there would always be like adults who would tell you, you know, once you leave high school, you're going to leave some of those friends. I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way. All of my 8 friends, we're going to still be friends. That group, we're always going to be friends. And so it was after high school, I realized that most friendships that you keep, it's because of convenience. So you're going to school 5 days a week. You have to see that person. You're using that person's emotional support and mental support to survive high school.
Y'all got the same class.
Yeah, you guys have the same classes and everything. And from high school, I only speak to one person.
No, me too.
One person.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah. But the reason why me and that one person kept in touch or we still have a relationship is because we both worked for it. And
intentionality.
Yeah, intentionality. And we didn't shake when challenges showed up. And I think that's also another thing. I just don't know if we know how to navigate challenges as well. So I think as I evolved and became an adult and realized the complexities of life, I think when I started being more prayerful about the quality of friends that I wanted, I started to think about what kind of quality friend I wanted to be.
That's good because I don't think a lot of us, we do talk about like what kind of friends we want, but we don't do enough of what friend am I and how do I be that quality friend. Yeah. So that's good. But so what were the qualities?
Honestly, the fruits of the spirit, and I hate sounding super Christian or whatever.
No, talk about it. About it.
The fruits of the spirit. Yeah. I think long suffering is one of them for sure.
Yeah, but don't talk about that more though, because so for those who don't know what the fruits of the spirit are, essentially, when you say you're a Christian and you've accepted Jesus into your heart as your Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit now, guides you into living and walking out that Christian life. It's a process. So it's not like, okay, today I'm a Christian and tomorrow I'm going to exude all the fruits. But essentially what we mean by the fruits is when you've accepted Jesus and you've allowed the Holy Spirit to lead you and guide you, there are certain fruits that must be produced, and that will eventually and should be produced as a result of you saying yes to Jesus. So long suffering, it talks about it in the Bible, all of the fruits, and long suffering is one. So talk about like, because I don't know if you know, it's very rare to find friends who are willing to stick through a lot. Stick through. We're not the same people that we were in high school. We're not the same people that we were 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like, talk about, you know, seeing the fruits of the Spirit in your friends, and how do you go about discerning like, okay, no, this person can be my friend, or I want to be, you know, have a friendship with this person.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think. Okay, so in 2018, I think I had a very transitional period in my life, I would say, spiritually, but also discovering new things about like my mental health. And I had a good group of friends at the time. And when I say good, I just mean a number, a good number. And when I navigated that challenging time in my life, I realized that a lot of people left. And I noticed that part of that is because I think people just don't know how to endure hardships, because we have been taught, I think, again, through mirroring high school relationships and childhood relationships, that friendships or relationships in general should be easy. Like, we're going off the premise that you like green, I like green. Let's be friends. You know?
No, that's true.
Not like, okay, you know, my friend goes through a mental health crisis and it kind of shifts their personality for a season, and it distorts your perception of them, and you're not able to distinguish whether or not this thing that they're going through is them, or as a person, or this is just a situation that they're enduring. So that was a painful period, but in turn, actually, it made me shift my perspective of, okay, going forward, when I decide to have new relationships, I want the kind of relationships that will stay when I'm going through a tough time, but also do the inner work to be prepared for that, to be that kind of friend, that when my friends are going through hard times, that I can be present.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what a version of long suffering is in a friendship. It's knowing that life is going to throw you stuff.
Yeah.
But how can I show up and in love and really mirroring, honestly, how God loves us.
Yeah.
He tells us to love our brothers.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what really it is. You know, he doesn't ask us to show up perfectly in order to love on us. And so who am I to say that I can't love on someone because they're not showing up perfectly?
Yeah, and I feel like I was watching or listening to a sermon by Tim Keller, and he was talking about I think spiritual friendships, but yeah, I don't remember what he was talking about, but it got to friendships, and he was saying that when you say, if you want to just have friends or be friends with someone just for the sake of having friends, like, you're not going to be building meaningful things. Like, I think that he was also saying, like, you know, comes a time where you're going to be making friends and there's going to have to be something in common. Now, it doesn't have to be like, you know how you're saying, like, when we were younger, you like green, I like green, let's be friends. It doesn't have to be that. But when it comes to godly friendships, it's like, I don't know, for me, I'm in a season of my life where, like, for my close friends, we have to have God in common.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want to be able to talk about, and I'm not saying that, okay, as a Christian, you can only have Christian friends. I mean, that's your walk with the Holy Spirit and your conviction. But for my inner circle, like, the commonality has to be the Lord. I don't care if we have different favorite colors or whatnot. I mean, I think me and my friends are alike in a lot of ways, but I think we're different in a lot of ways too. But I think that's okay. And I think when we talk about, you know, adult friendships and making friends in adulthood, I think there comes with, like, just this feeling of discernment of like, okay, what is it that would bond us together? Because I think that if we talk about that, then that also helps us to, when things get a little bit tough, reminds you why do I have this person in my life, and why am I in their life? Like, you know what I'm saying? And for me personally, having the Lord at the center of all of my relationships, it helps because it helps with forgiveness. It helps with having understanding. It helps with, you know, maybe like seeing the person not exactly for maybe how they made you feel in a particular moment, but seeing them for who they actually are. You're really good at that, by the way. One thing you're really good, let me tell y'all, one thing she's really good at, she actually practices what she preaches. And I think that you're really good at, like, you're the friend who will be like, so I just want to tell you this, and it's out of love. And I know you didn't, like, she will not hold one action against you, and that like defines who you are for her.
Both tearing up.
You know, like I know, but it's so true. And I did pray to God for friends like that, like, because I've had friends in the past where if I might say something a wrong way, then all of a sudden that defines like who I am as a person. Yeah. Right? You're really good at, hey, I know this is not you. You said this, it annoyed me or it hurt me, but I know that this is not who you are, and you probably didn't even intend to do that. Yeah. So I'm choosing to see past it, but I also need to tell you that you have hurt me and you need to watch how you say things sometimes, because like just for like that's a friend to me. Like that's the kind of friendships that I want, because you're not only holding me accountable for how I'm behaving or how I've done something, but you're also in a sense like, I think it is a fruit of the spirit. I don't know which one, but when you see a person for who they really are, like that's what Jesus does for us. Yeah. Like we might have messed up, we might have said this, we might have had a bad day, but I know who you really are. Yeah. You know, yeah. And I just love you for that.
Thank you. I have to say it is hard. Yeah. It is a hard thing to do because like you said, like not every relationship that you have in life like really appreciates that. So if you're in like the wrong setting with the wrong people, and maybe it's 9 friends and all 9 of them don't appreciate that aspect of you, you're gonna think something is wrong with you. So if you're watching, I encourage you to continue to pray and ask God for your people. But that's something that I found to be very challenging in the beginning. However, I see the beauty in continuing to express something that is on your heart, but still trying to find this fine dance between letting that person know that you love them and you still see who they are. However, there's just this thing that happened and I just want you to know about it. Yeah. And
I think that's real love. To be honest, that is real love, because you love your friends enough to almost, I think that if it was something where you're like, I'm not going to say this because I don't want to hurt their feelings, to me, it can almost, I don't know if this is too far, y'all, but it can almost give like selfishness. But you love your friends enough where you're like, hey, I still love you, but I'm going to call this out because I actually want to see you be a better human being. Like, you know what I mean? And I
want that to be done for me as
exactly,
well. Yeah.
Exactly. So, God, y'all got you friends who tell you the truth. Like, that's just a fact. And to be honest, it might be a thing where you might butt heads for a little bit. Because I feel like we butt heads. I remember our first fight. Yeah. It wasn't like a fight, actually. It was just
a heavy disagreement.
But then afterwards, I was like, but I actually prayed for friends like this. Like,
and it was tears, and it was like, I'm sorry, I didn't want you to cry. No, I'm sorry, I didn't want you to cry.
No, but iron sharpens iron, for real. And I think that, yeah, friends who bring you, like we talk about romantic relationships all the time, marry a man of God, marry a woman of God, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, do all those things. But you need friends in this life who also bring you closer to Jesus, who also, you know, when God said it's not good for man to be alone, like, yeah, we do take it in the context of actually like the gender man, and they shouldn't be alone, therefore they should get married. But it just means that all of us, like, we need community. We need authentic and genuine community. Now, we're not saying like go be friends with everybody. Have discernment. But if you're struggling with making friends in your adult years, figure out what that thing is that's paramount for you in your friendships, and you go from there, right? If honesty, loyalty, the Bible, I strongly suggest that if you are a believer, your friends, your inner circle, I believe, should also be believers, should also know the word of God, should also have discernment, so that they can help you be a better Christian. But another thing I want to get back into is friendship breakups and the grievance. Is grievance a word?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep it real, because that's a thing.
It is.
We talk about romantic heartbreaks.
Yeah.
We do not talk about friendship heartbreaks or breakups.
Yeah, they're the same.
And the sadness that it has.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when you go to a friend or go to anyone and be like, oh my gosh, me and this person are not friends anymore. Like, it's actually like, oh, really? What happened? But you're actually going through like a process of like, this person was in my life and now they're not.
Yeah.
And what do I do? Where do I bring those feelings? Like, So like, let's talk about that a little bit. And why do we think it's so spoken about, or just kind of like underestimated almost,
Yeah. Maybe it's because we live in a world where it's like everyone is replaceable. Or like that's the narrative I feel is there.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose a friend, you can just find a new one. And there are so many people in the world. Yes, I understand, but I think that's really overgeneralizing the amount of work that goes into building a relationship. And yeah.
No, I agree. And I also think that, I don't know, part of me feels a little bit that when we go through friendship like breakdowns or transitions or whatnot, I think that we too need to do like a better job of what led to this, right? I mean, I've had friendship breakups from little, and they hurt a lot. I also think they hurt because I'm very particular with my friendships and very discerning. When I choose a friend and then I lose them, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But I've learned that it's good to reflect on, why did that friendship break down? What happened? Doesn't mean that we have to be friends again, but it takes two to tango. And it's not just one person that brings a friendship to its end. I think that we have to do, even in situations where it's like, well, this person wronged me, this person did this, this person did that. I think sometimes the Lord will bring you to a place where, well, what did you do? Like, yes, they could have wronged you, but your only role in this wasn't the victim.
Yeah.
Like, it could be like what was said. How could you have shown up better? How could you have done this? And though like there is the pain of the friendships, and there is the grievance of like, how do I like just move on with this person no longer in my life? I think it creates better opportunity for us to see how we show up for others, how we show up in our non-romantic relationships, and how we can, take from it and move on and be better in our relationships.
First of all, I think that friendship breakups hurt more than romantic relationships.
That's a fact.
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I be in the bed just like crying, like, how could she do this to me? And like, why can't we be friends anymore?
Yeah.
But that's one. And I think the second one too, that I think people probably don't like to engage with because it might take more work to do. But I truly believe that sometimes the Lord will show you that someone is not called to be your friend anymore, but you still want to be their friend. However, it's just not for you anymore. And I think no one talks about when you have to walk away from a friendship that you want, but it's just not what it's supposed to be anymore.
Yeah. Like, do you mean like if like the friendship has gotten toxic, or do you believe that, or it's like I've transitioned into a different season and, you know, or maybe the friendship is very one-sided or very draining, or like what do you mean in the sense of like, hey, this friendship, like, it's no longer for me?
I think everything that you said.
Okay, yeah.
I think there are different reasons why friendships can no longer be what they are. One, they have gotten toxic. Two, it was just for a season, but you wanted it to last longer. However, you're in a transition period. And sometimes transition periods happen in a way that you don't even want or expect. But in order to be obedient to what God wills for your life, sometimes you just got to go there.
Yeah.
But you want to stay where it's at. And also maybe being one-sided too. I think that's a part of transitioning as well. I think you could be in one season where, for example, you're about to get married. You know, I just got married. You're in a season. We're in a season before.
Yeah.
When we were single, I think there are times where God does call you to be friends with someone, and maybe you have to take on more of the weight of things. Because that's just what it is, and like we're called to love one another, and that's just what it is. However, as you transition into another aspect of your life, like you're getting married, you're not going to have the capacity to be able to be as heavily, you know, depended on in that fashion.
Right.
And so if that person is not in alignment with that, or they haven't grown past needing you in that way, then
Then
sorry. You know.
No, that's true, because there's so many things I could say about this. It goes back to as well the things that you look for in your friends. Having that understanding that your friends are going to go through things, they might not be able to show up for you like they did in this season.
Yeah.
Because their attention is needed somewhere else, and that should be okay. There should be an understanding of that doesn't change the fact that they love me.
Yeah.
That doesn't change the fact that if I still call them, that they're going to be here for me. There's an understanding that, okay, maybe like I can't put that kind of expectation anymore on that friend. And to be honest, I think that too, sometimes, I'm not saying all friendship, but we were talking about friendship breakdowns. I think that sometimes friendships do break down because one person has put too much expectation on the other. And I'm guilty of this, where you've put your friend so highly, like, I don't know, you put so much expectations on this friend where now when they've let you down, it's almost like you don't even know how to pick up the pieces again, because maybe in the first place you put too much expectations anyways. Like, I think that we can tend to maybe put expectations on not necessarily individuals that are not good friends, but they're just not able to meet the expectation. And then we blame them for not being able to meet the expectations when it's actually just not in their ability, or they're not capable.
Yeah. But I will add to that though, and I will say, I think it goes back to communication. Because I think we're natural human beings who have emotions and have expectations. And expectations are normal, healthy, actually, even. And I think when two people are able to communicate with one another and say, hey, like, I'm expecting this of you, but I feel like you're not showing up in this way. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
And you talk about it. I think that does something for the relationship.
That's true.
But sometimes, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been in positions where I'm expressing that. Like, I'll put the effort to be like, okay, let me reach out and ask.
Yeah.
But they don't even have the ability to hold that conversation with me.
Yeah.
And so then you have to decide, how are you going to frame this friendship now?
Right.
Is it going to be at this standard as your bestie, or is this going to be someone that you're going to just keep as a friend?
And that's okay.
Until they evolve.
And that's okay. That's true. Yeah. It does require communication. It does require vulnerability. It requires to talk, open up and talk. And that's another, there's so many reasons why I love you, but that's another reason why I love you, because you know how to communicate. And it helps because you can't, in any relationship, you can't just expect people to know how you want to be treated as a friend, how you're treating them as a friend. It's good to take inventory. Take inventory. Where are we at? Am I showing up the way you want me to show up? Are you showing up the way I need you to show up? And if not, why? Well, girl, because da-da-da-da-da. And then it can also bring understanding, right? There's understanding in terms of, okay, let me have grace on my girl because, I wanted her to show up in this way, but she just explained that this happened. That happened to me just the other day with a friend of mine. If she's watching this, she'll know who she is. We do that.
You probably even know what was going on.
I did not. And I was just like, girl, I don't hear from you. And she's like, girl, this is everything that's going on. And how can I be mad? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I will be praying. What, you know what I'm saying? It keeps you, it helps. It just helps and that's why knowing the Lord, for me, knowing the Lord is very important in my friendships, because that conversation could have went left. If there was no self-control, or if there was no consideration of how do I approach this, if there was, no hey, I want to see this person for who they are, not the thing that they've done to me, it could have went left.
Well, yesterday I was inspired, or it's fitting because we were preparing for this
video
from last month.
Yeah.
And so Proverbs 17:17 came up, and I was like, God.
And what's crazy is that I was reading about that in the week too.
Crazy.
So when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Crazy. But also in Proverbs, there is Proverbs 18:24 that says, one with many friends may be harmed, but there is a friend who stays closer than a brother.
Period.
And what that reminds me of is how friendship is not in numbers, but sometimes friends are so good that they're closer than your kin. And that's my girl right here.
Oh,
truthfully,
forever. I said
that's my girl.
I texted you the other day that we're gonna ask God for our mansions to be beside each other.
Yes, and our husbands could be across the street.
Yeah. One
but
street of gold away.
We talk about all varieties of friendships here, and we talk about ones that are for a season. And this girl is gonna be here till I am gray, because that's what I chose.
Yeah, chose. That is the key word.
Yeah,
your friends. There are people who are best friends with their siblings, and that's great. But your siblings, you don't really choose. If they were born, if they were born, you're born. But your friends, you have the autonomy to choose.
I get to choose more siblings.
Yeah, and I think that's why it means more.
Yeah,
it's because it's I choose to be your sister and show up for you in whatever you need. There might be days where I might not be able to, but that's the point. We can't expect our friends to take on the world, but I can promise to always point you back to Jesus. I can promise, if there's a situation that I can't necessarily fix, I'm a lead you to the person who can, which is Christ, right? And I think that is a good way to end it off. In all of our friend searching or friend navigations in this season of life, figure out what is important to you in your friends, and not only look for it in others, but look for it in yourself. And the best way to do that is to say, Lord, show me my heart, show me things within me, show me things that I know or did not know. Not getting your friends, but looking for friends. I think it is important that you figure out what is important to you. What is that common ground? And if you're a Christian, truthfully, the common ground that you need is the Lord. That's it. And figure out the other things that are important to you. Loyalty, honesty, all of these things. And make that decision within yourself. What kind of friend are you going to be? Are you going to be a friend who sticks it out to the end? Are you going to be a friend where, I don't know, just just ask the Lord to search my heart, God, like search my motives, like try not to enter into friendships with ulterior motives. Try not to enter into friendships because this is how it's going to benefit me. I mean, to be honest, I think that friendships, in a sense, like you don't want to be in friendships where all you're doing is giving, but it shouldn't be the initial drive, like I'm going to be friends with her because this is what she can do for me. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be friends. I pray for everybody watching this that you will find friends where it just clicks. Like I thank God for my group of friends because it just works. We just click, like it's just gel. And those are the friendships I pray for people because if all hell breaks loose, like you still got your friends. Like you need your sisters, you need your girls, you need your guys. If guys are watching this, you need your bros. But yeah, I hope this was encouraging for somebody out there. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody who you think might need to hear it. Friendships in adulthood is a thing that to be spoken about. It is a thing that we go through as young adults, and it's a real discussion to be had. So if you're struggling finding friends, pray, ask the Lord. He will help you. He cares about the little things. He will send people in your life. He will set people up for you. He cares about that. And it's okay to say, God, send me good friends and make me a better friend. But yeah, I love y'all, and I will see you in the next video.